What's going on, everybody? Got another video coming at you. This one's a little bit different. We are actually finishing up Collector Week right now, and I would like to show off my collection and how exactly I store it. I think that this is the best way to store a collection as a player and not really a collector of the game. Even though my collection is quite large, I do have a playset of every card in the game, pretty much missing a little bit of high C stuff still, but we'll get more into that. This is basically how I sort everything, which allows me to build a deck in under 30 minutes, no matter what deck it is. So I have, I don't know, maybe like 15 or so binders at this point, depending on how many classes there are. I have a binder for every single class and every single talent, and then this one here is generics. So let's see, this one is also brute. So let's see, I'll just take an example here. We have the brute binder and the generic binder. So this is sorted by collector number, and actually the way that this is sorted is by the card gallery, and I have one beg of LSS is to please bring back the card gallery. I love how much easier it is to sort my collection, purely selfishly, of course. I know that you're trying to move on to the card database, but I really think that the card gallery is a lot better for creating my collection because it's sorted out by classes instead of just collector number, because it gets kind of annoying whenever there's stuff like Draconic and Draconic Ninja and Ninja stuff. It's so much easier whenever it's just Ninja and then it shows all the Draconic Ninja Majestics and everything that has to do with Ninja. So I'm hoping that we can move towards and keep updating these card galleries because they're just so helpful. The last one they've updated was Misfail, so it's been a year since we've had one. You know, this is the 2-3 sets since we've had one. I would really appreciate getting that back. But basically, what we have here is every single card sorted by that card gallery, and it's just sorted, you know, red, yellow, blue. And that is basically how all of this works. So I know that if I ever want to build a KO deck, then I can come into here and I can pick my KO Berserker Runt because that's exactly what I meant. Everybody knew what KO I was talking about. And I can pick my KO Berserker Runt out of here and then start going through here and picking all of the cards that I need, like a Bad Beats or a Wild Ride or a Bare Fangs. Of course, all of these cards are busted in KO Berserker Runt. Another thing is, so I do have all of the talents in a different binder, but if it's something like Shadow Brute, it goes in the Brute binder. Just, you know, that's kind of like something just for me. Maybe you could get a different binder with all of that. And then another thing that I can definitely improve on with this is, first of all, I didn't know this was the Brute binder whenever I first opened it. I had to open it up. So being able to do something like this, like I know that this is a generic binder, or just like writing Brute on the top here would be very helpful. Another thing that I know that I can do to improve is anytime there's something like this, of course this is a red sink below. That's pretty easy to tell because there's yellows and blues right here. But whenever we get to the majestic binders, it's a little bit more complicated to tell exactly what should be going in that slot. So just making little, just little things that go in here, like even writing on a piece of paper saying sink below red and just sliding it on in here so that I know exactly what card is missing from that. And I can even like put sink below red in I don't know, I think it's in Syndra right now, so put it in Syndra and then put like 8-3 for the date, and that's the last time that I like updated this. Um I really like this way of sorting everything. At this point, I am on my second generic binder as well. There have been a lot of generics printed in the game so far. And yeah, I think that this way of sorting everything is just a really helpful way of doing it. And we also have, we can just like take this, and honestly, I look at this, you know, maybe once a month. I just start taking stuff out and just looking at it because, like, man, look how cool this looks. Like, I don't know. I know that I'm like the nerdiest person in the world for this, but like, it's just so cool. I have all of these cards, like every single card. This is WTR. This is Arcane Rising here. And then we just keep going through. We find some Crucible of War. And then we keep going through. We have Monarch, and this is just every single card that's ever been printed. I think it's just so neat to be able to open this up and look at all of like the hard work that's really gone into forming this collection, the time that it's taken to forming this collection, the people that I've met forming this collection. Want to give a huge shout out to Josh DeHaan. He is where I get most of my cards from. So whenever a new set comes out, I don't really buy any product. I'll maybe buy, 3 to 15 packs worth of drafts, and that's all I ever do is I just draft. That's the only time I ever like open sealed product really. But most of the time I go to Josh on he's on the Discord for Purple Discord, Fabulous Marketplace. That is where I get all of my cards from. Of course, I've also worked with Hamela in the past as well. Also a great person. Just give a shout out to my guy up in Michigan, Josh. Um, he is a really cool guy, and he opens a lot of boxes every single set and just sells them to people like me. Now, you may think that this is super expensive, but honestly, like, if you're trying to get every card in the game, why would you ever buy boxes? Like, that just doesn't make sense. Like, you have to buy an insane amount of boxes, like he does, to be able to get play sets of all the Majestics, all the Legendaries, all the commons, and all the, well, commons and rares, you get it about a case. But, yeah, it costs, like, well, I would say the first thing is, thank God I'm not a car guy. Uh, I do know that other people's hobbies are really way more expensive than this. I would say that every time a new set comes out, it's all about timing. If you immediately buy every single card in the set, or if you pre-order, God forbid, every single card in the set, then you're gonna end up spending about $1,000 per set. Um, $3,000 a year on a hobby isn't that crazy, but whenever you take into account that, you're also buying plane tickets to Singapore, that's another 11. You're buying lodging and food and everything and all of these other places, you try to find the most bang for your buck. And by doing that, you don't get it on release weekend. You give the set a little bit of time to breathe. Now, if you're trying to play Syndra for RTN season back in February, then all of those cards were super expensive. And yeah, I kind of took a bite on how much I spent on the Syndra deck as opposed to what it is now. But I also got really, really good deals on Fang and Arachne cards 2 or 3 weeks after, maybe actually a couple months after it came out. Like right now, great time to be buying into Puffin or Marlin, but all of their cards are super cheap. This is a wonderful time to be buying into them. Maybe not buying into Gravy Bones if what you're looking for is to find good deals on cards. If you're looking to win the next calling, then maybe you're gonna have to bite the bullet, and buy Gravy Bones cards for very expensive. But if what you're trying to do is collect here, then definitely be looking at things that are undervalued right now, like Bolton, like Marlin, and start picking up those cards, a little bit slowly at a time. Or you could just come in and bulk buy, like I did whenever I came back into the game after a year of not playing. I just came in and bought all of these cards basically. This is like the year that I wasn't playing, and I just bought all of these. It cost me about $1,500 to buy a year's worth of cards. That's really not bad. I also did it at a really good time. It was like January 2023, right before Heavy Hitters came out. And that was just a wonderful time to be buying any cards in the cardboard space. Everything was super down. So I decided to bite the bullet and just do that because I was honestly deciding, do I buy a modern deck like Modern Yawgmoth, which was like $1,800 at the time, or do I just, kind of give up on Magic entirely and just go head into Flesh and Blood? And I just decided to go into Flesh and Blood entirely, and honestly never look back. I'm so happy. I've played Magic a couple times since then, and I'm really glad I don't play that game. This one is just so much more fun. But here is La Pièce de Résistance. We have all of the legendaries ever printed as well. There are some missing, like right here. I need to put something in here. Uprising, headpiece, leg piece. I don't know what this is. I can't remember what's in that slot right there. Like that's why I need the little things to go in there and tell me what it is. But yeah, um, I just come in here and I look at this stuff all the time. Like I've never really been that much of an art guy, but like, come on, you can't tell me that like Traverse the Universe is not like one of the coolest cards that you've ever seen in your entire life. I don't know, man. I just like, ah, I look at this card and I'm just like, just like thinking about all of the memories that I've had, like playing Enigma with this, being able to, block with that and then send out my mirror guy and just seeing like anytime you reach for the traverse and you just like see all of the dread in your opponent's face. Man, that card right there just reminds me of that. And it's just like a great memory to have. Remembering all of the majestics that I've ever gotten, like it's really been like it's a lot of work because like the first thing I do whenever a new set comes out is I try to get it locally, like very locally, like anybody just opening boxes and trying to sell, and then I go to Josh, and then if there's ever a time where it's like really, really like I need this card right now, like something right now that I actually don't have. The only card that I'm missing from Hunted is two pain in the backsides, which if I ever want to play Slippy, then I will need those two pain in the backsides, which if I can't find them locally or from Josh, then I'll have to go and get them from TCG Player or like another online seller, Min Max Games, something like that. Would definitely recommend going as local as possible to begin with, and then start moving up from there because that's really how you get the best deals and also the best way to support any of your community who's trying to do the same thing as maybe Josh or maybe Minmax or something like that. Like I'm just trying to support the people around me first and foremost, um, and then move up a little bit. But yeah, this is my whole Flesh and Blood collection that I think is the best way for a player to be sorting out their collection. I think that it's real. I can build any deck in the game in 30 minutes or unbuild any deck in the game in 30 minutes. And if there's ever a new player who comes in and is like, "Ooh, I want to play this," it's like, "Okay, send me a list and I'll check it out. I'll build you the deck and then bring it to Armory next week." I've done that many times. And yeah, I love this game. I love this community first and foremost. I just that's why I buy all of these cards. I really just want to support everything that's going on with it, the grassroots feel of everything, and I am just a big proponent of all of this that's going on. 5 years in, and I have every card from the first 5 years, and hopefully can continue to do that 5 years down the line. Because honestly, I think that these cards are going to be I will probably be up in the long run, is what I'll have to say. As long as I keep just like staying the course and putting in all of the money, every 3 months, like as long as they keep the everything chill and they don't start, going like way too crazy with so many products that like I can't even keep up, then I'll just keep doing this and just keep buying the main sets and just keep on going through here. I've got some really cool cards and I've had some really great memories. So thank you to Flesh and Blood. Thank you to all of the collectors out there who kind of let the players keep playing like they want to, like selling gold foils and everything. Shout out to Collector Week. Shout out to the players. Shout out to the community members. Shout out to Josh, of course. And, I can't wait to see where this brings us. And I'm super excited to continue playing this game. Thank you all very much. Leave a like and subscribe.